What's going on, life? Bringing you some shocking images from the Palisades right now from not too long ago. Aerial imaging showing the complete devastation of what's going on in California. Absolutely nothing left. I don't even see. I see one house there. One house, two houses, three, four. That structure's half burnt. I mean, basically everything is gone above the hill. If you look further down the hill, looks like those places were spared from the flames in the blaze. However, it's just devastating. My heart goes out to everybody that is affected. I see a few more houses, and it's a disaster. They're looking at over 280 billion plus dollars so far, and it's gonna get worse as time goes on. The fires aren't done yet. And the sad part is that people's mouths aren't being done with their feelings. And certain people, I guess, that have platforms and that are out there in the mainstream. Some very famous, prominent people, such as Jimmy Kimmel, has been saying some things that really it's not the time for. Everyone keeps pointing the finger back at the new GOP coming into office and Donald Trump, and I really don't think it's a time for that. People also feel like that he's pointing the finger at California for all it's their problem. They're going to have to deal with it. Well, it's definitely not the case. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel really, I think personally made a big mistake what he said. I voted MAGA. I voted for Donald Trump. And I mean, I take offense calling me a scumbag. I'm sure everyone else has probably seen the clip already. Just going to take a look at it real quick. But I mean, it's absolutely disgusting to really hear this from people who have a late night platform and expect millions of people to watch. And to be honest with you, crocodile tears, if you want my honest opinion, they're crocodile tears.
All the vile and irresponsible and stupid things our alleged future president and his gaggle of scumbags chose to say during our darkest and most terrifying hour. The fact that they chose to attack our firefighters, who apparently aren't white enough to be out there risking their lives on our behalf, it's disgusting, but it's not surprising.
I do want to note one thing. Whenever he does make a lie, I have noticed his voice cracks. I can find other clips of other lies he has said about Donald Trump, the MAGA movement, and all of that is very interesting to see. He'll always have some sort of voice crack or some sort of, and I know he was trying to get emotional and everything, but again, crocodile fucking tears. Excuse my language, but not very necessary.
Instead, I want to focus on thanking those men and women.
Gaslight. And that's all they're going to keep doing is just gaslighting and not fixing the problem. And that's the one thing I have with the whole party that's in office right now. And there's going to be a lot of change going on because I think a lot of people are pretty much sick and tired of this. Pretty much they're over it. And because here's the thing, with 2 clicks, platforms like mine and everyone else's, we can disprove these things by just simply doing 2 clicks.
During the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out
right before
you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to continue real quick, but what the heck? What the heck? Because I haven't heard anything yet about blaming the firefighters.
Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration.
Haven't heard fire.
They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water.
Fire hydrants.
And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. and it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions.
I think you get the point. I don't believe that Donald Trump and his MAGA followers, including myself, are scumbags one bit. I really think it's just another inflation and them taking advantage of the platforms that they have and propagating their words to try to emotionally influence everybody in this time of need. I really do feel like there's one side trying to bring us together and one side really trying to divide us. I mean, if you really, really, really are interested and want to take a look at real scumbags, I mean, here's a picture of one scumbag. And if you want me to continue, here's another. These all come from the same party. Here's another scumbag. And here's another scumbag. It's just very, very funny that they all develop from the same party. And the list can keep going on and on and on and on. But I don't want to keep going through and just doing a hit piece on everybody. Bottom line is that things need to change. These leaders need to be called out. They need to be primaried. They need to be put out of position. And whether that is Republican or Democrats, these rhinos that are in office that are trying to just make a buck and not be leaders. Last time I checked, it's supposed to be some civil duty. And you go about the rest of your life doing whatever else you want to do. But hey, I guess it's a new world and a new age these days, right? But you know, they're not trying to fix the problem, and they have a lot of headwinds, no pun intended, with it coming about. You know, it's very sad that they're still not doing anything about it, but instead all that we're seeing from Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass is kind of almost pointing the fingers. I mean, there's a bunch of surrounding states to try to get water from, and it's very, very interesting. I mean, if you look at this map here real quick, this is just relative humidity over the next few hours here, or a few hours, I should say, the next few days. And it's just going to continue to be dry with high winds. You're looking at, you know, winds going constantly at 30, 40 knots. And these are the upper levels. However, you get to the real nuts and bolts down here. These are where the winds are going to be the most affecting. And if you look, they ain't going to get any relief. It's all dry. So I don't know. I really don't know. I have my heart, and I have been doing a prayer every night for these people. It's very sad to see. And what's more sad to see is, I wouldn't call it even TDS. It's just delusion that behind this whole blue, no matter who or whatever the case is, just maybe it is TDS for some. But regardless, it's sad, and it's just very ironic because Jimmy Kimmel, where are you talking about other disasters that have gone on from the span of we'll just say from the fall all the way up until the fires? Like, whatever happened to Hurricane Helene, all the people in Western North Carolina, and the floodings, all the people have been affected and forgotten about. It's funny how the president has come out and said that they're going to do this, that, the third, but yet we forget about things like this. And I don't know what to say. I'm a student at school of meteorology. I actually did a research project, and I will be doing an episode, or releasing an episode about the hurricane and trying to debunk some of the misinformation that went around with it, and where some of the actual flaws and some of the errors occurred. It's kind of shocking and jaw-dropping. I got a lot of FOIA reports from FEMA to look at, you know, the emergency wireless messaging, and went through some of their logistics with communicating with NWS, and it's hard to talk about right now. I have to get my thoughts before I start going on a rant about it. But this is just very sad. I don't hear Jimmy Kimmel talking about or even bringing up anything into the light about this. Like, this is something we should be still definitely talking about. I mean, the utter devastation. I mean, what about the victims here? I found this very interesting.
January 10th, 2025. I'm going to start this video out by saying that we're praying for California. We've had several people make the trip across coast to come volunteer here with us with Valley Strong Disaster Relief. I'll be the very first to admit that before September 27th,
these people are.
I would see a natural disaster.
Just hope you know that they're living outside currently.
And I would think, oh, that sucks. Then I would go on about my life. That's because I'd never been affected by it. My mindset has completely changed since Hurricane Helene, and I'll spend the rest of my life being involved in some sort of storm relief and trying to pay back the hearts of the volunteers and to help the victims. This morning I saw a post made by the leader of the free world. He said that he was announcing that the federal government would cover 100% of the cost of measures to protect the lives and property in Southern California for the next 6 months.
Thank you.
He told the governor and officials to spare no expense and do whatever they need to contain the fires and protect families.
Pull my hair out.
I hope that happens. I wouldn't wish what happened here on anybody, not even my worst enemy. What about Appalachia? We are 105 days in since one of the most devastating storms known to mankind. We are still supplying our own campers and shelters.
Outside they're living.
While paying mortgages.
They're living outside.
On piles of rubble. We are
still
running our own
they're not donors, so we don't
with
care
phase one items to many people that lost everything.
They don't care about them. They're not donors. Remember, you should just, I mean, Joe Biden should just leave a comment down at his video and just be like, how much did you donate? So that's why you didn't get that much back. So, you know, these people in California are going to get their kickbacks because they sent a lot of money to the Democratic Party for this election. I always had my suspicions about it because my mom always votes blue, and nothing for nothing. I always feel like that when they get into office, there's some sort of magical tax rebate or something like that that comes, and whether people notice it or not, I don't know. I mean, these people are outside. We have almost one of the worst homeless crises compared to most third world countries, one of the worst right now going on. And that's not an overstatement. That's a complete understatement, I believe, because it's just gotten completely out of control with the migrant situation and everything else.
Everything, including their homes.
These are people
and their jobs.
This
we still have bridges out.
This is
only 4% of the debris has been picked up. You heard that right. 4%. Many businesses are bankrupt with insurance denying their claim. We have a polar vortex slamming western North Carolina while people are going through 10 gallons of propane a night, wondering where they're going to get their next tank.
I almost have real tears going.
Every single thing that we the people have done for relief efforts so far has been nothing but a mere band-aid to stabilize our communities until proper help arrives. So with all that being said, I hope LA does get fixed.
Oh yeah,
we'll be right here fighting for each other.
Right, bro? I agree. We need the movies.
But when you're done there, don't forget about the backbone of America.
Because he's probably living.
Don't forget about Appalachia
right now, living on the wild. Not
our taxes are paid too.
I hate to leave it on this, but I'm gonna leave it with that and just let everyone know that things got to change. This makes me absolutely sick. This is nauseating. This is not with the amount of access that we have to information. It's amazing how much of this can just be thrown under some sort of hidden firewall blanket so no one can see it. Firewall rug, we'll call it. Just washed under the firewall carpet. And these people are suffering. They're outside, living outside in the freezing cold. They just had an ice storm. My sister lives in Charlotte. They just had an ice storm, and a very good ice storm too, a very big ice storm. He's right. I want to see everyone's places get rebuilt from disasters. I do. I personally do. The only reason why I'm getting upset and even find it at all irritating is because of this video. And what you just watched is that everyone is suffering. They are suffering. They are literally living outside. And I'm sure that was, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that was a prop for just to give effect to the video of the backbone of whatever animal. But who the F knows? Okay. And it's funny that this doesn't get shown that much, but then we have people like Jimmy Kimmel who get on every day, point the finger at one man, the giant Oompa Loompa, who most of America really, really loves and adores, and says, that's the bad man. That's who caused the fire. That's why climate change exists. It's because of Donald Trump. It's because of him. And the reason why you're suffering is because of him. Remind yourself of that. That's why you're suffering. This is the reason why this man here in this video, that's the reason why he's suffering, is because of Donald Trump and climate change and the climate change he brings. And I don't think it's the climate that's really changing that drastically from all I've learned so far with meteorology and climatology. I think the climate that's really changing is our political climate and the way everything functions around in this country. Hopefully things change coming up, but I think it's going to be a fight and a struggle. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more coming up tomorrow and for the rest of the week. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next video.